There we go. Good morning.
Good
How are you
morning.
this morning? Welcome to our Saturday morning chat, coffee chat with Tim and Amber.
Tim and Amber.
Good morning. What is it? The Bill and Ted morning show? Is that right? Hang on, y'all. You're a little bit too up close and personal. You don't need to see all the pores in my skin or the wrinkle. How are y'all this morning? It's a beautiful day. It's going to be a beautiful day here, is it not?
Yeah,
In East Tennessee?
the old Smoky Mountains.
No, seriously, I'm asking you a question. Did you look at the weather?
Nope.
Oh. So if y'all want to like Google search Cosby, Tennessee weather, and wait for Sherry to get online and join us. She always tells us what the weather's going to be if we're getting a storm. But the past couple days have been beautiful, which we needed it after all that rain.
Yeah, it's been cool in the mornings and the evenings.
Perfect weather.
Yeah.
This is like Amber's perfect weather. It's cool enough in the mornings that if I wanted to have a little fire in my wood cook stove, we could. And it's cool enough at night. We have the doors open and a little blanket on, but warm enough during the day to get in my pool. So I'm a happy camper right now. What about you?
Well, I will say the pool water is still very cold.
It will wake you up.
Yes.
Very much so. We got in it yesterday, and I'm standing on my tippy toes because I was really freezing cold, and it was I'm on my tippy toes walking around the pool. And Timmy's like,
I'm sure that made a difference.
So he goes, "Are you standing in your toes?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm cold." He goes, "Does it help?" I'm like, "In my mind, it does." There's like that much of me that's not in the water because I was standing on my tippy toes. Did y'all have your coffee yet? If not, you need to grab a cup. But I'm happy to be back here with you guys on Saturday mornings. It's nice to get in the habit. Wait, is this week 4?
Yep.
Have we made it a month?
4.
You know what they say, 3 weeks makes a habit. Here we go, y'all. Saturday morning with us, joining us in our kitchen.
That's good.
That is good.
Consistency is good.
It is good. Well, when it's consistently good things, right? And I hope y'all can hear me. I didn't realize that my mic, I had talked so much that my mic went dead right before, so I only had like 5 minutes to charge this. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear you? Where's yours? In your beard?
I got it right here.
So now that we're all here, that was my hand on the table.
A little gassy.
Oh, I did eat beans last night. Valerie, a good friend of mine, texts me every morning. She sends me her devotional for the day, and she calls me Toots. She goes, "Good morning, Toots." And we literally had her baked beans last night for dinner. I said, "You spot on this morning, sister." I said, "It's all your fault." But anyhow, let's get started, shall we? What are you going to start with? I know you got scripture for us. What you got?
We've got a passage here.
What you got for us this morning?
Is appropriate for what we're going to talk about.
What is it?
We're reading out of 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind.
That's a good one.
Yeah, ponder on that for us a minute.
He's not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind.
A sound mind.
Boy, if we just practice that on a daily basis, huh? How many times y'all let fear creep in your heart? And that's kind of what this whole, if you haven't joined our email yet, find our website, My Homestead Life, and sign up for it. We've got an amazing email series that we've been doing that has really, it's not about, I'm not sitting here going, ooh, check out this way, 5 different ways to make butter, 30 different ways to save repurposed eggshells. This is just heartfelt messages of things that we've been praying about, going through life. And I think we talked about it a little bit last week when life happens. And this week we were kind of going to talk about, see, I tell you, we don't pre-plan these things because the Holy Spirit just lays something on me or something's heavy in my head and we just change it. We were going to talk about what's working and what's not. But last week was when life happens, and we'll continue to talk about when life happens. But this week it stemmed from our topic today about us being, when did we start being scared? Basically, well, when we start being scared of things that we make at home, or things that we cook at home, or natural things. And our meeting this week really stimulated our thoughts on that. What is the subject I picked for the day? It was along those lines. Good morning, honey. Beautiful scripture. Oh, there we go. Valerie. Good morning, sweetie. And it is a beautiful scripture, and it's hard to remember, because how many times, not even, for the big events, do we hear people say they're scared of, or they're afraid of? And first of all, that's just powerful when you say that. You give that, whatever it is, so much power and authority over your life when you speak it out loud. And I try to tell my family a lot, and myself, don't say that, don't put that out there, don't say that, hush. And when I am concerned about a topic, I try to very carefully choose my words to not give it power, authority over my life too, when I'm telling Timmy about, because there's things, you're going to be concerned, and there's things that are going to make you scared, but the Bible tells us over 365 times not to fear, not to be scared. Have faith over fear, prepare so you don't panic. Prepared so you're not scared. Those are kind of our mottos and our things that we're going with our little life funnel. But go ahead.
I think all the uncertainty things that that happens,
When you touch up coffee, y'all,
that we let them take over our lives, and
they're
before you
debilitating.
realize it, you'll be at home and you won't want to leave, and it'll shut you down, and it'll have a very mental bad impact on your mental way of living.
Well, let's first and foremost, I have a really personal connection with this, because my grandmother on my mother's side, the woman that was my heart, I can't remember, there's a name for it when you're too scared to leave the house. That woman, she was an alcoholic, and then she was a recovering alcoholic. But after that, she wouldn't leave the house. And it got so bad in the end, she wouldn't even leave the house to go to the doctor. Good morning, honey. And she died of a sickness because she wouldn't leave the house to go to the doctor. She was scared of people. She was scared of everything, and it became debilitating for her. And her house became her, her house was supposed to be her solitude and a place of rest. It became her prison.
Yeah.
And so I have to be mindful of that, because I can get really, really comfortable in my own skin. I can get really, really comfortable in my own surroundings and not want to leave. And I see that with our middle child, Morgan, as well. She gets to where, gosh, she won't even go out in public if she's not with somebody. And we can't live in that fear, because I'm not saying you don't have faith if you have fear, but God wants us to put our faith in Him and overcome these things that we're afraid of. He already overcame them. We just have to trust in Him and go through the process.
Yeah.
But we had our healthy, y'all, if you're in our newsletter or if you live local, you know that we started a healthy living group at our church a little over a year and a half ago.
I would say a year and a half.
It's been a year and a half. It was a year ago. January was our first meeting. And if you do, I did share a couple newsletters ago that it took me a year to be obedient for that, because I don't feel like I am the poster child of health. And I'm not what people think of when they think of healthy, and they look at me, they're like, oh yeah, that girl's healthy. Was it Denise Austin out there doing her little aerobicize on TV? I'm not even saying these words right. Denise Austin.
Yeah.
She back? Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Denise.
Y'all remember her? You old enough to remember her back in Susan Summers and all them people?
Wow.
Anyhow, But I went ahead and talked to Timmy and said, this has been on my heart. I'm not qualified, but I feel that we need to do it. So here we are a year and a half later, and it's been an amazing journey every month. Gosh, we've covered what?
Just about everything?
No. We could teach that class or host that class for 20 more years and we'll never cover everything. But I mean, just a lot of different aspects. We have call them 8 different aspects of healthy living. First is foremost, the most important is your spiritual one, your relationship with Christ. And then you have financial health, mental health, physical health, nutritional health, environmental health, relationship health, work health. I think I covered all 8. I might have missed one.
Got it.
And through those, we share a lot of different, we've done microgreens. We had a doctor come in who's also our pastor and has his degree, and he came in and talked about mental health. Next month, we have our associate pastor who does mortgages and lending come in and talk about financial health. And then a good one of our members taught Tai Chi. We have another one that's coming in that's doing situational awareness and self-defense. So you can see where this is going. Where we do a lot of, it's not like big brother bashing. We don't talk about, all these horrible companies poisoning our food and our water and our air and yada, yada. We just share information and encourage them and stimulate them to research, because so many people don't know. Like they don't think about it. They don't think to research it. They just blindly believe, and they're walking in this little mouse maze bubble. And I'm not going to sit there and go around and go, oh, this is horrible and that's horrible and everybody's poisoning us and you need to do this. I'm not going to fear base them, but we're just there to share information. And for those that want to know more, I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. And it basically gives, you give yourself confidence. When you allow yourself to have confidence, you're able to,
knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power. And when you learn something to do for the first time, that empowerment of being able to do it and feel accomplished is really something. I mean, you feel good. When we first started making all of our own products, going, we can make our own toothpaste. Why did I never think about that before? Yeah. I never thought about how we got toothpaste before Crest and Colgate. Never thought about it. We can make our own deodorant. You don't need a chemical lab for that. You can make your own sunblock. You can make your own bug spray. I mean, the more that we got into it, the more it's like, wow. And the more, the Holy Spirit led on us and gave us a desire to learn these things, to go back to a more natural way and get out of the commercial products for our own health. Right. But here's the thing. This is what kills me. I was talking to Timmy on all the way home, and the next morning I was kind of in tears. We taught a class. This month was the, I'm sitting here hitting him under the table so he'll talk. So it's not just me. Barbecue.
Yeah. The condiments.
And what did we make?
We made mayonnaise, ketchup, and mustard.
And then we had all the fixings and everything with it. Yeah. And the reason being that this was the direction that we wanted to go for one of these classes is last year we were teaching one on oil, how to make your own oils and the different oils and how the seed oils are rancid and the best healthy oils to do. So we made lard and tallow and ghee and butter, and it was just a really fun class. And somebody raised their hand like, oh, do you make your own mayonnaise? Mm-hmm. And I said, I'm a Southerner. I'm a Duke's girl. And there is no other mayonnaise other than Duke's. And Duke's is the hill I'm willing to die on. I love my Duke's. And everyone's like laughing. And the one member is like, oh, I just figured you make your own mayonnaise. And that stuck with me for a year. Now, here's the thing. I've tried to make my own mayonnaise for 2 decades. And it was icky every single time. It was icky. And mayonnaise ain't cheap to make, y'all. I hate to tell you, you complaining about that $8 jar of mayonnaise, the great big old one of Duke's that you can get, because it has gone up in price. It used to be $3.50 not that long ago. Now it's close to $8, depending on where you go. Oil is expensive, and especially good oils, not the cheap stuff you find in a plastic bottle. Good oils, not seed oils. So every time I tried it, it would just taste like oil. It was just nasty. And I was like, if I just wanted straight olive oil on my sandwich or my burger, I'd pour olive oil. And so I gave up. And I'm like, I like Duke's. It's there on the shelf. It's my favorite. We'll just keep buying Duke's until one day I want to say it was around Christmas, maybe right after. We were sitting at the table, and our middle child, Morgan, did what?
What did she do?
Do you even live here? We really got into reading all the labels, and she became obsessed with it. Because in January, we decided to stop gluten again, and we'll keep stopping until I make everything from scratch.
Yeah.
And so their gluten is hidden in so many different store-bought foods. I mean, it's really hidden very well. And she started obsessively reading labels, which is a good thing. I encourage that. But she went to go grab my Dukes, and I knew exactly what she was doing, and I snatched it from her. I said, "Oh, no, you don't." And she goes, "Mom," I said, "I don't want you to read the label." She goes, "Why?" I said, "Because I don't want to know the truth. And what if there's something in there I know that I don't like, and then I'll feel morally obligated to not eat it anymore."
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that with my Dukes.
You mean something like bioengineered food?
So I let her pick it up because I didn't want to be a hypocrite. And I had her read the label. And my beloved Dukes has betrayed me. And it had a great big, not big, it was small, but it was by itself, contains bioengineered ingredients.
Well,
so here goes Amber on Amazon ordering a gallon of different oils so I could make my own Dukes.
You know, the sad thing about that is I think that there are people out there, I'm not bashing anybody, but they're okay with that.
They don't care. Yeah.
And
that's okay.
Food that's made in a lab,
And that's fine. That's them. You do you. I always say that. You do you. I'm not going to, if you're okay with that, kudos. Don't make the rest of us okay with that because of that. I mean, still give us choices.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be the only choice. So if you're okay with that for your choice, fine, but make sure it's transparent so the rest of us can make educated and informed choices, period.
I mean, I'm sure there was a time when they made Dukes. It didn't have that in there.
Yeah, nothing had that in there.
I think over the years they've added stuff. I don't know if it's to preserve it or to.
There is no good reason,
right,
to have bioengineered XYZ in anything that we consume.
Yeah.
Period.
Right.
There's no reason to import anything into the United States food-wise. Mm-hmm. We've been blessed with a very productive nation. And that part makes me sad too, but that's not what today's about. So lo and behold, let's fast forward into the story a little bit. I played with recipes until I found the recipe. Super easy. And it really is kind of about the oil. And I used avocado oil. It doesn't have that pungent taste afterwards. Mm-hmm. We're all happy with it. Takes me literally less than 3 minutes to make. Super, super easy. So anyhow, this is one of the things that I did for.
And it's a healthy fat.
Yeah, it's a healthy fat. It's a good fat for you.
Yeah.
It helps feed your brain, your little noggin up there, which we need healthy fats. So backstory just a little bit. Last month, our meeting was on probiotics and how to make kombucha, and talked all about prebiotics, probiotics. And one of the fun things that we have our meeting, we always eat at dinner because the meeting's at dinner time, and everybody brings a dish that has to do with the topic of the month. So last month, everybody brought some type of different probiotic. We had kefir. No, we didn't have kefir. We had yogurt. We had sauerkraut. We had
Kimchi.
kombucha. We had kimchi. We had all of these different like probiotics and prebiotics because we also brought nuts and flaxseed and things like that. So it's always very fun. And because every member does that for the most part, they're all participating in doing the research because I don't tell them what to bring. I said, research it and see what you can add to this meal. And so we did kombucha, and everybody, I had flavors that they could flavor the kombucha, and I brought scobies for everybody. And some people took them, some people didn't. They're like, nah, I'm okay. I'm good with that. Nope. And I had everybody wear rubber gloves, and I passed around scobies in a big bowl so they could see it and play with it and figure out what it was. Now, before this, though, we were talking about gut health like previous meetings, and some of our members started going out and buying kombucha at the store and loved it, fell in love with it. All the little different flavors and the synergy one and the different ones and stuff that they could get because you literally can get them everywhere.
Yeah.
You can get them at convenience stores. It's a thing. It's been a thing for a while. So if you ain't on the kombucha train, time to jump on it. Choo choo. So did I just say that?
Kombucha.
Choo choo. Get on the kombucha train, y'all. So fast forward is when you make kombucha, especially we've got one jug there. We've got, move your head a little bit, the other one right there, and all the other little jars up there. You have a lot of it, and ours has been brewing we've had Toby for over 8 years now. Toby the Scoby Jr. And we have juniors all around the United States. What were you going to say something?
No,
you were going to say something.
No.
But you have a lot of it. So I'm like, you know what? I want to take the condiments that we're making one step further. I'm going to ferment them, and I'm going to add probiotics to them to make them even more gut healthy for you rather than just from scratch. So I had made all of our mustards. I did a spicy mustard, a regular yellow mustard, a ketchup, and a mayonnaise. And I did them all with kombucha added to them and fermented some of them. And anyhow, we talked about that. And I had people when we went to go make they're like, I said, yeah. And they're like, well, I saw a recipe online that you make mayonnaise with raw eggs. That's not safe. And I'm like, that's how it's made. Well, it's not, that's not how they make it at the store. That's not how they do this. I said, yeah, they make it with raw eggs, y'all, unless it's some bioengineered ingredient now. Well, and then they're like, well, I mean, that conversation's to me laid another one. And then I had another member up there or that came up to me that was making kombucha and loved it. Then she wanted to do the double fermentation, and she did that. And then she started Googling instead of messaging me every 20 minutes. She started Googling about it. She goes, well, Amber, she goes, I read that kombucha could, kill you. So I just stopped. I don't want to make myself sick. She's, you're much more experienced at it than I am. I just don't trust myself. I'm not going to do it. I said, well, that's okay. You can start over. You don't have to do the double fermentation. She goes, oh, I just threw it away. I said, the double batch, right? Not the scoby. No, all of it. I'm not going to do it anymore. She was that scared from a Google search. And I said, well, I can make you some. And she goes, I don't have the pH testing strips. So that's where I failed. I brought those strips, showing them the pH in it as an example. I don't use them. I've never used them. I just thought it would be a fun little science thing. And it gave her fear because she didn't have those. And she kept saying, well, you've been doing it all this time. You can do it. I can't do it. And what killed me is she's the one member that comes that's always on board with everything, always really dives into the research.
Yeah.
And it scared her. I said, well, I had my kombucha all bottled in our little swig top, which I think I have it right here. Because I was using them for all the recipes. I have it bottled like this. And I said, well, I'll brew it. I got tons and bring it to you. No, 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 no. That's okay. I'm good. No, she never got sick. She never had a bad experience. She had a Google result that completely threw her into this panic and fear spiral of something natural that she's been doing at home that she liked. And all of a sudden it was going to kill her and hurt her or make her really sick. And I started arguing a little bit with her, trying to convince her. I felt myself getting upset at the things that she was saying because I'm like, you know better. It's going to be okay. I was trying to reassure her. When that wasn't working, I just started to get frustrated, which was not a place to come from because she was already dead set that anything she did at home like this would hurt her. And she didn't want stuff I did either. She wanted to go to the store and get it from now on. And then we did the mayonnaise, and everybody was sitting here questioning the raw egg in it. And even though it has vinegar in it and had kombucha in it and it had lemon juice in it, and I explained that whole process, they were still scared about it. They'll probably still go and buy that stuff with bioengineered ingredients. And it just sat with me. I mean, they were all, they enjoyed the class and they had fun. And I'm praying that they will do the research because along with our classes, we don't just give them recipes. We do the research with it and talk about why we're doing XYZ. Hopefully educate, give them education or give them information, and they'll find it to be important in their life too. Not just here's a recipe, do it because I said so. Here's a recipe, and this is why we're doing it, because it has high fructose corn syrup, it has dyes, it has, monosodium glutamate, it has bioengineered ingredients, and this is what those things do to your body, and this is why you should make it at home if you want to. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, you pretty much said it right there.
It's sad.
It's sad, and to not be able to convince these people that they can do things on their own, and they just say, well, no, I can't. I'm scared. And a lot of people have fear basically with definitely mayonnaise because
he's right.
Yeah. And I mean, the mayonnaise that we get now, I took the lid off of one and I smelled it, and it did not smell like mayonnaise used to smell. It smelled like,
it doesn't even taste the same.
Yeah, it's something. There's something about it that it doesn't smell like food.
Well, and I was telling them, I said, if you're not going to make your own, that's fine. Buy as natural organic product as you can, even some of those you can't trust. I said, grab the label, bottle, read the label. If you can't pronounce it, don't consume it. Because if you don't know what this is, your body doesn't know what this is either. And they're not going to recognize it as food.
Yeah.
I know the topic today is how have we forgotten? No, wait. Have we forgotten how to trust ourselves? Like, when did that happen? When did it happen that we quit trusting nature and all things natural and things that we've been doing for thousands of years, literally fermenting and pickling, preserving foods been done since the beginning of recorded history, and start trusting these big corporations and laboratories that do not have our best interest at heart. When did that transition happen that we put our trust into somebody that we never met? We don't know who sponsors them. We've never been to their facility. We've never looked at how they grow, produce, or even make our food versus our own kitchen.
Yeah.
When did that happen, y'all?
Yeah, especially when you can take something and make it with just say 5 ingredients versus 20 ingredients. I mean, that's got to tell you right there that you're using natural ingredients for something. Of course, you're probably not going to have the shelf life, but still, for that 2 weeks or whatever.
Well, you shouldn't have shelf lives on well, when you're preserving food, you do. When you're
Yeah.
pickling and fermenting, and
Well, I was kind of referring to the mayonnaise and the condiments and stuff like that. Things that we go out and we use all the time: ketchup, mayonnaise, mustard.
with the mayonnaise,
Just-
yeah. So that's the thing too. If your mayonnaise, you're sitting on the shelf and it lasts years and years, you might not want to eat it.
No.
But that's what and again, it literally takes less than 3 minutes to make it. So easy. And I bet you have all the ingredients at home because it was avocado oil, an egg, vinegar, lemon juice, salt, a dash of paprika, dash of garlic powder, boom, done.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Most people have all of those ingredients at home. Hang on. It's the truth because it's easier for people to grab something quick off the store shelf instead of taking time to make it. That is true, but I would beg to differ, especially here where it takes us over half an hour to get to the grocery store. Just in the drive alone, I could make all of those condiments at home quicker than you could get out your car at the grocery store. And that's where I'm trying to share with people. And if they want to, I'm not shaming them. And it's not that they don't, it's not, if it was an argument, like, I don't feel like making it, I just want to buy it. I'm like, okay, fine. But the argument was yours isn't safe and the store's is.
Yeah.
That's where I'm like, huh? That's where it started to really concern me. Because, for instance, if you do the research right now, you have the top 3 leading causes of death in the United States: cancer, heart attack, prescription drugs, in that order, or heart attack, cancer, and prescription drugs. Number 3 is prescription drugs. Prescribed by doctors, kills over 250 to 300,000 people in the United States per year. That's a fact. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's on, I was going to Google it. That is, and those are the ones that they actually record. So I'm assuming the number is much, much higher per year in the United States. Prescription drugs. These include overdoses. They include adverse reactions. It also include several tens of thousands of people taking medications exactly like their doctor prescribed. Over 250 to 300,000 people per year. It's the 3rd leading cause of death. Now, research. How many people have died taking homemade kombucha? 0. 0 deaths. None. There is a recorded case in 1995. Was it 30 years ago? That 2 people got sick saying it was from homemade kombucha. They recovered. They didn't die. And there was no scientific evidence to back that claim up. So I couldn't even find a recorded legitimate death ever from drinking homemade kombucha. Ever. And only 2 cases of illness in 1995 that they could not definitively connect to consuming homemade kombucha.
But that's enough to put fear in somebody.
But that was enough to put fear in somebody to make them never want to do it again. Good morning. Hi. Yeah. So you probably gave their Amber's going off. Why is she so mad? I just joined for coffee. This is the part that I was looking at Timmy. I was talking to my friend Lori, and I was just sad. At first, I was upset because I'm sitting here trying to convince this woman, and I couldn't. That made me upset. And then it turned to sorrow the next day because I just felt sad of how deceived we are as a nation about everything.
Yeah.
Now there is a new, there was a woman, I can't remember her name right now, but she came and she was a visitor and she came and sat by me afterwards thanking us how excited she was to find our group because she's, waking up. She's woke. And someone had shared with her and it stimulated interest. And now she's kind of going crazy with it. I said, be careful. She's like, huh? I said, be careful. It doesn't make you too mad. And she looked at me. She goes, oh, I'm mad. I said, I'd be careful. I said, because the more you learn, the madder you'll get. Don't
Yeah.
don't get mad. Just change. Just, do your best till you know better. When you know better, do better.
Yeah.
Just change.
Yeah. Just thank God for that discernment. I mean, to open your eyes and just, realize that you can do a lot of things,
You're not
yourself.
powerless.
Yeah, you're not
You're not
powerless.
powerless. And that's what this whole life series is about. We're learning, we're investing, we're doing all of these things so we don't have to live in fear. So we are prepared and not scared. And have faith over fear. Don't be afraid of your food.
Yeah. And you can look at it like this. What if it came to a time where you couldn't actually go to a grocery store? Maybe they couldn't get the shipments in because basically everything's shipped here anyway. So if the grocery stores couldn't get it, what are you going to do then? If you've got some kind of background knowledge of being able to prepare your own food and make things, condiments, just whatever. I mean, that's, God, that's why God gives us that discernment, that gut feeling to be able to, be able
Seek
to
out the
seek out and
information.
prepare,
Absolutely. And that's a very good point, because we learned that during COVID. The supply chain can break. It's very, very, very volatile. And so if that supply chain breaks and we can't get XYZ, then panic and fear start to set in, especially if it's something as important as your medicines that you rely on or you feel like you have to have every day. But they could be as simple as your favorite mayonnaise or your favorite ketchup being off the shelf and not being able to get it. I mean, during COVID, people were mad. I can't get my brand of XYZ. The shelf is empty.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do if I can't get this? If you learn how to do it yourself and you learn how to locally resource, or if you learn how to do without, or you learn a really good substitution, doesn't mean you have to do it every day and, spend every waking hour making everything from scratch. But if you learn how to do it so you have that knowledge, go back to what it is that you're comfortable with, but then you have that knowledge for when you need it.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here telling you to exhaust yourself doing everything homemade and from scratch, but at least obtain the knowledge, and don't say, oh, I'll Google it later, because maybe the internet might be down. So learn that now while you can. Store that back in your memory bank on a piece of paper in a folder somewhere that's not digital. Attend a workshop, attend a class, start hosting classes at a local facility like we are. You don't have to be an expert. We're proof of that. If you build it, they will come. Sometimes that it works for more than just Bull Durham. I mean, if you build it, they'll come, and then bring the community in to share all their knowledge and glean from each other.
Yeah.
So if something happens, like Timmy was just saying, you don't have to panic and be in fear. And then you spread that knowledge to somebody else so they don't panic and they're not in fear. Right, Bill Gator?
Yeah.
Is that good?
I'm good.
So yeah, that was today. So when did we start becoming afraid of everything that we natural and trusting people that do not have our best interest at heart, that have no connection with us, that have no involvement with us, I was explaining to somebody, I said, they used to say smoking was good for you until it started killing everybody. And they used to running behind mosquito trucks and red dye and all of these other horrible things they allow in our food, that the powers that be, that the ones that are being trusted, said is good for you.
Mm-hmm.
And now, years later, oh yeah, it does cause autism. It does cause dementia. It does cause obesity. It does cause all these sicknesses that we kind of knew about maybe at a time. Oh, but wait, we've got the treatment for that. Not the cure, but the treatment. Here you go. Here's another little pill. Oh, well, those pills, you have a 300,000% chance of dying if you take that properly versus if you just do this at home naturally. But take this, trust me, it'll be better for you.
Well, they think they've got us, and I mean, I think deep down inside, we kind of know what's going on, but we aren't willing to step out and, just break the chain. It's the system. I think the way they designed the system, they want us to be.
We're a culture of convenience.
Yeah, it's a convenience, and we depend on. They think we depend on them. They designed it like that, but so we would.
They don't like
as
those that don't,
consumers.
though.
And but the thing about it, if they're one day that if they're not there, it's okay for them, but it's not for us because they've already trained us to be
dependent on
it. So if
control
we
the
just,
food, control the people, isn't that
Yeah.
what they say? Control the food, control the people.
if we would just prepare ourselves and have a game, another game plan, that we could use.
And y'all, we're not perfect at any stretch. I've got a package of Nutty Butters in the other room because I had a weak moment on my way back from church. The same night that we had our healthy living meeting. Yep. We stopped there. I said, Amber wants some chocolate with peanut butter. But I'm trying. And that's all. That's the best we can do. I'm never going to stop trying. Just like when we quit smoking and drinking, we never stopped until we stopped. And now we haven't had either in over 16 years, So we'll get there and we won't stop trying until we do, because we're here to support each other, right? So that's the things. Don't be afraid of what you can produce at home. Don't be afraid of natural remedies. Don't be afraid of things that to be natural. If you're going to be afraid of anything, be afraid of that junk that you get at the store and call food. Treat that with fear, or don't go in there. You start reading the labels, educate yourself. If your body doesn't recognize it, if you don't recognize it as a natural food ingredient, your body won't either. And go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say something about the ingredients that they put on the boxes. I think they put just enough ingredients on there, and it's probably according to the box. There probably isn't on all packaging enough room to put all the ingredients on it.
They're not. They say spices, natural flavorings. What is that?
So they're just putting enough on there to,
They can, they know nobody's going to sit there out with their phone and read every single ingredient, what it does to you. No. If you did, you'd never make it out of the grocery store. Real food doesn't have ingredients. It is what it is. An egg is an egg. Potato is a potato. It doesn't have a whole list of things below it. Now, I will say this. This is one little thing I'm going to add with it. Since we're talking about condiments, mustard actually is one of the cleanest condiments that you can buy at the store. So it's not hard to make either. But if you look at it and just says mustard seed and vinegar and salt, you're good to go.
Yeah.
A lot of them though have dye in it. We make ours with turmeric. You don't have to. It just gives it that yellow. Well, it gives it a little bit of flavor, but it gives it that yellow color. But yeah, mustard is one of the cleaner ones.
That's like Tabasco. It's like vinegar and peppers.
That's it.
Thank goodness they have that.
But and then they said I've been following natural health since the 1970s. Good for you.
Yeah.
Wow, you woke up early, didn't you, honey? That's a huge feat. That is wonderful. And I would like to say that I followed those footsteps, but I didn't. I was introduced to it and then I fell away. It's just this yo-yo thing that we keep doing, but we don't stop trying to live better and do better. This was said, do better until you know better. When you know better, do better, or do your best until you know better. But anyways, we're going to go get some more coffee. Sorry for the rant this morning, y'all. That was just heavy on my heart. And I was so discouraged by that. I shouldn't be. I should have just given her a great big old hug going, oh, honey, no, it's okay. Go ahead and buy your stuff from the store. That's what I should have done. I didn't do that, though, shamefully. I didn't shame her. I didn't show anger, but I felt it in my head. I felt it's like, how can you be so deceived? How can you believe them over your own eyes, your own skills, your own natural ingredients? I don't get it. Maybe I'm not meant to get it, but I don't want to get angry about that. I just want to share what I know. And if people want to learn more, come on, let's go, brother. If you don't, that's good too. Then we're just not for you, unless you just want to sit there and point your finger at us and talk about all the stuff we're doing wrong. But I'd rather have you join me in fellowship than, than be here just to argue about everything. Anyhow, well, y'all what are we going to do this week?
Hopefully we're going to get our solar moved. And I'm just going to go with that for now. We've been working on the road a little bit. We've had some heavy rains and
for a week we couldn't get down the mountain.
My son couldn't get up the mountain with his truck.
I couldn't get down the mountain with my car.
It's just like you slide down, you can't get out. It's a mess. But anyway, I was able to take the tractor and work on it a little bit.
You almost died on the tractor too. Y'all should have. He came in.
I ran out of gas going up the hill, and
it's when he says hill. Here, let me give you some perspective.
Yeah.
So our driveway from the front of our mailbox up to our house is a half mile. Well, for the well house down there, it's a half mile and over 300-foot difference in elevation. So on one side we have like rock, and the other side you have cliff down into like a ravine type thing. And so, and our road is big enough for one vehicle. That's it.
Yeah.
And maybe a person could walk around it on each side.
Yeah.
So he's on his tractor going up or down?
I was going up.
So the back of his wheels were facing to the down in the mountain.
And I ran out of gas.
And he ran out of gas.
And the tractor has wet brakes. So you really can't just slam on the brakes and, stop.
What are wet brakes?
Wet brakes, they just kind of, they don't grab.
Okay.
So I ran out of gas and I panicked for a second, but I turned the wheel, and when the tractor started backing down the hill, I just backed into the hill, and that stopped the tractor. So I got off and I started huffing and puffing up the hill, and I made it. And
he's like, because his butt was puckering for a while. He goes, I thought I was going to go off the side of the mountain.
I thought I was going to die.
He did think he was going to die. Yeah. And he came in, he just sat on the thing. And then poor Timmy, he does not have, I'm not one of those women or wives that are like, oh, come here, baby. Oh, no, I wasn't talking. Everybody knows that. I was like, come to me if you're bleeding. I love you. There's nothing I wouldn't do for you. But I'm just not one of those people. I try. I knew he needed a hug and that warm embrace. And I wanted to be that person. But I said, you really need our daughter here, Morgan. Morgan's that person. She'll go, oh, poor daddy. But I'm not. Oh, I was like, and you lost the key to the tractor?
That's why I have screwdrivers.
Yeah, but no, so we're thankful that he's alive and didn't get off the side of the mountain. We're very, very thankful. And he even went back the next day and finished what he started so we could leave and drive down again and up.
Yeah. But we still made it to church that evening.
So. We did still make it to church. We had 12 minutes to get ready after all that. Oh, wait, you came back from the tractor. Wait, there was more. He started off, lost his key, had a hot wire of the tractor. Amber got mad about that. Because this man never puts anything back where it goes, ever. Then after he finally made it up the mountain, I had to drive down in his truck to take him, drive back up backwards. That's not fun either. And in four-wheel drive and being able to see on both sides going either off or into the side. And then when we got back, our pool busted a hose and water was going all over, 5,000 gallons of water, spraying out everywhere. And so he had to hurry up, God bless him, and fix that. And I'm like, somebody don't want you to go to church tonight.
I know.
That's how it felt. Someone don't want you to go to church tonight.
Yeah. I showed them, didn't I?
You did. You did good. All right, y'all. You guys have a blessed day. Thank you so much for putting up with us. And I hope that you guys join us next Saturday for coffee.
Yeah.
I ain't going to say what we're going to talk about because I won't have no idea until the night before when we talk. We discuss what God's putting on our heart. That's kind of how that's going to roll.
But it'll be something.
I'm hoping it'll be, hey, guys, guess what? We've got the solar moved. It's only been 8 years. 8 years.
All right.
Y'all have a blessed day.
Goodbye.